Welcome back to Those Are My Thoughts podcast, where we share our thoughts on popular fantasy reads. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jillian. And welcome to episode 2 of Quicksilver. This is our voice memo episode, which is very exciting. If this is your first voice memo episode, welcome. This is very exciting for you. These are really fun because it's kind of our thoughts as we read the book. Sarah and I send each other back and forth voice memos as we read the book live. So you'll get all of our live reactions, emotional moments, etc. as we're reading the book. And then Sarah lovingly compiles all of them for us so that we can listen to them in one fell swoop. Yeah, it's kind of like rereading the book. It's one of my favorite things we do. So
Me too.
welcome to the episode.
I think when we finished Quicksilver, which is probably like a week ago, you and I definitely had or still have a book hangover.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be helpful listening to this because I think we share the sentiment, like we're trying to get into our next book and it has been difficult to convince ourselves, like pick up a new story, jump into a new world when you really just want to kind of be in the world you weren't ready to leave. So I have successfully started the new book. Jillian has not. She'll get there.
I downloaded it. It's on my Kindle. It's waiting there. It's past the, I think I'm sitting on the map page. I think that's where I'm at.
Well done.
Which I'll finish. I'll get there. But
you will after today, because today is going to help you like tie a little bow on your Quicksilver journey.
Yeah, hopefully this gives me a little bit of closure so I can keep moving on. I don't know. This has been one of those books where this is like the first time in a minute that we've read a book that only has one book out. I felt an extreme hangover from like not having book 2 out, which has been really hard for me. And I just told Sarah, like, I tried to pick up the next book and I'm like, ugh.
I know.
Starting a new story after reading that feels wrong. Like, I don't want to learn something new. I want to be here. I just got involved into this world and it just came to a big like crescendo. I want to know what's going to happen next. It's kind of like watching one season of something and it ends on a cliffhanger and you're
So
like, oh
true.
no, I have to wait another year to read that book, or it won't be a year, thankfully, but
which I have to say, you and I are readers, obviously. We're here. However, so many of our social media friends, I see how they're cruising through books. Now, mind you, they might all be audio, which might be easier. I think that's easier for most to like cruise through and get book after book after book done. But I see so many people reading like 6-7 books a month. And I'm like, dude, how in your brain and your heart and your soul are you jumping from all of these worlds and these characters? Like, it has literally taken me a week to convince myself, gotta let it go. We're reading a new book. You're going to love it once you're 100 pages in.
I know.
But I don't get how people pump them out like that.
No, I don't know. It's hard for me too. Like, my brain was really, and my heart was there, and I just couldn't. Like, I would go to pick up the new book and I would start like scrolling on my phone instead. I was like, oh, I just can't do it right now. Like, it's just, if it was the other book I want to know what happens next in the story. I'm just not there to start a new one. It feels like I'm betraying the other book and I can't do anything. The book hangover was real. I know that we're going to like the next book we're going to read, which we won't share right now because I don't think these are going to be sent a little bit out of order, but I'm excited about it. But this will hopefully help me.
We will be recording episodes on it, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Okay, let's listen to this voice memo. The voice memo is 12 minutes long. If this is your first time listening to a voice memo recap, Jillian and I read books together, quite literally, like at the same time. Typically, like we're chapters apart from each other. And so we're sending each other voice notes on the daily of, this is what I read, the emotional reactions. So these voice memos are taken throughout our daily lives. So in some of mine, you hear birds chirping while I'm outside. Like, there's everything. It's been adjusted so that you can listen well to it, but sit back and relax 12 minutes. And then we're going to come together.
I will say quickly before you start it, I Sarah texted me that it was only 12 minutes long. And I said to her when we were texting back and forth, because it felt like I was sending a voice memo for every episode, for every chapter rather. And that each voice memo was like 3 minutes long on each chapter, like thoughts I had on every chapter. And I was like, how did you cut all of that out? And she's like, well, you were doing a lot of random talking in the middle. Where she's like, a lot of it wasn't. You were literally just recapping chapters for me. And so I just cut out the full recaps.
You were. It got to the point where I was like, I know that the first minute of this voice memo is going to be Jillian like, okay, this is what happened in the chapter, and then this happened, and then so-and-so said to so-and-so. Which some of it was your reaction, but then at the end of the voice memos, you'd be like, and then I thought, and you'd go on with your personal thing.
So she cut out a lot of probably nonsense that I said throughout, which makes more sense because not every chapter needed to be a 3-minute voice memo, but she had to listen to all of them anyway.
If I had kept everything, Jillian, it would be an hour long.
I know. I was feeling bad for you when you were editing them. I was like, sorry about that. I think I said that while I was on. I would literally voice note and be like, sorry for future Sarah who's listening to this. Like, my bad.
It's great. It's actually, I think it's one of my favorites that I have compiled. I think it's really fun.
I'm excited.
I think you're going to like it because you have not heard it yet.
Even though you sent it to me days ago. She knows me too well. I don't listen to things.
Let's do this, yeah?
Yeah.
Here we go. Voice memo loading. 12 minutes long. Ready, set, go.
Okay, about Quicksilver. This main character, to me, gives such Selena Sardathian vibes. Scrappy assassin, doesn't know what power she has yet, gonna save her whole place kind of vibe.
When I started it and they kept talking about the third, I really had to give myself some visuals of Hunger Games. You know me, I need a visual. I also gave myself some visuals of Dune because of all the sand and the 2 moons. I think I get it now, and I'm liking it.
Her brother's a complete friggin' idiot. I feel like he might still die.
I was certain he was going to die. He's not dead yet. I hope he lives, but I'm not hopeful about it.
They brought in that guy named Carrion. I wonder if we'll end up loving him, even though she's presented him as this, like, asshole that's really good in bed.
The queen, before we met her, I was also certain that she did not exist. I thought it was going to be kind of like a Wizard of Oz thing, like what's behind the curtain. They say the Fae, and I just was not expecting Fae in this world at all. Really excited about that. I don't know. Did you know that was going to happen?
I guess I didn't realize that this was going to be a Fae situation. To be honest, I didn't read the back of the book, so I don't even know what really walking into. That guy stabbing her in the stomach, I was like, oh. Okay, but like we think she's Fae, right? And doesn't know it. Through chapter 5, they haven't named him, but I know who the main love interest is. And I love that she's calling him Death right now.
She punched him. I'm loving this.
It all escalates very quickly. Everything Fisher does is like uber sexual based, and right now he's acting like this big old Fae guy who is like 1800 years old, which I like can't even wrap my mind around. That feels like so extreme. And she like ends up in his lap. I'm like, oh my gosh, holy cow.
The kiss. This dynamic is so different. Do we think that we're going to have any sort of vampire feeling in this book? Like they use feeding as a sexual thing. Do you think that's going to show up at all in the spicy scenes?
I feel a bit weary of Lane. Like, I don't know if I should fully trust her. Obviously, Kingfisher is going to be somebody that we can trust. Can I trust Lane? I'm not sure.
He says, you assist me in any way I ask you to, and you do as you're told. I'm sorry, too vague. Way too vague. That is definitely going to come and bite her in the butt. It's very clever, Kingfisher. Still don't know how I feel about that name.
Not to be rude about her brother, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be him coming back in the pool of Quicksilver. I was hoping it was going to be Carrion. I'm like feral for Kingfisher versus Carrion right now. Like, sorry to Hayden. I don't know what happened to you. Hopefully you're okay.
This is going to make for what I'm assuming to be some delicious banter between 2 guys being jealous over her.
He says that her blood led him to Carrion. I'm struggling. Is it because they've hooked up before? This seems odd. Are they related, which feels also gross?
They can't be related because that would be a really weird plot of her sleeping with her brother. Why? I am particularly loving that she has kept a pet. Okay, the bar scene where everyone starts honoring him. So beautiful. And we start to see the first moment where it's like, are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? We have fire sprites.
Fisher says, I know the smell of you anywhere, on anyone. I'd know it blind and in the dark across the fucking sea. I'd be able to scent you. Mates, anybody? Mates? Fisher is pretty, actually unlikable. I don't really like him right now, but I know I'm going to.
Oh my goodness, I am giggling to myself just thinking about this. Fisher made him take a bath. Oh my god. Obviously, this means that Fisher is obsessed with her. I just had kind of the second makeout scene. This man is unraveling and I'm falling apart. I love it. I love it so much.
I'm feral for his, what's going on in his brain. It's like, you can tell he's holding himself back from being with her. He's being a dick in the meantime. She kind of made me mad during the kiss because she just, let it go and was like, oh, hell yeah. But also, I get it, you know? The shadow thing, holy cow, why is it so hot every time?
And she's saying the melancholy tug at the root of my soul whenever he wasn't in a room. Question mark?
Vampires? Okay, did we know that before? Who shared this information? Did I miss that before? Did we know this was the enemy, was vampires? Because it shocked the crap out of me. It seemed like, the Fae that have the teeth used to be vampires with a blood curse, but now there's a separate being that is vampires as well, or those are just Fae with the blood curse? Curious about that.
They just had sex for the first time, and apparently it was mind-blowing and blah, blah, blah. And he just leaves. What the hell? Also, what's up with his tattoos moving on to her?
I, sat up in bed. Fisher's talking to Carrion. He goes, don't call her Sunshine. You should call her Majesty. What? What Majesty?
Damn straight. Of course she's like every romance fantasy book, she's gonna be queen. And so then he finds out that she's cleansed, and he definitely seems upset about that. And it's like, is it a justice upset, or is it he knows that he's falling for her, he's trying to plan the future, okay, maybe she could be with me at my side, and now he's pissed that she won't be able to continue the lineage?
You were completely right. The sucking blood from Faye is a sexual thing. He's a good egg, Lorith. He's a good egg. It literally almost made me cry. It's so sweet. Ugh.
We're finding out Kingfisher's a good guy, giving away pieces of his soul to his friends. Called it.
In chapter 25 is when she notices the Quicksilver kind of acting up in his eyes, maybe. Well, she can hear the chanting.
The whole scene from Ballard, I was smiling the entire time. I'm like, this is my favorite chapter. This is so beautiful. And then as it ends, it's just so sad. This man has so much unaddressed grief. Oh, the mom and the fountain and the house. Oh my goodness.
I guess I'm just confused about what's activating that. I don't know if you have thoughts on that. Smut scene number 2. Well, it first started off so sweet. And then we have mind to mind speak. Mates, anybody? Which you know how I feel about mind to mind speak. And as soon as it happened, I was like, I don't really understand how she gets the tattoos, what having sex with maybe her mate does to having tattoos.
I knew that it was going to lead to him biting her. Yes, the tattoos are super interesting. I don't understand. I would just like the answer now.
She figured out
the book is good when
the Quicksilver.
I have to send you a separate voice note basically on every single chapter.
Random trials. I was like, why is she doing that and not trying to talk to it when her talking to it makes it from a solid state to a liquid state? Why wouldn't talking to it make it from whatever she wants to be into a relic? I'm confused. I could have told you that 20 chapters ago when you first started looking at this stuff.
How are you just literally throwing random things into a pot, getting mad when it doesn't work, and then trying again tomorrow? Like, literally never gonna work. So glad that changed.
I just love that Lorith is the one who got the sword in the end. I love him so dearly already. Why did that almost make me cry? It's like seeing Fisher and how everybody else respects him, how he fights for his people. It makes me weepy. I don't know what. Oh, I love it so much.
I'm glad that Dana didn't get it. The girl needs to chill out.
I melt. I melt. So morally gray, not that long ago. I'm so obsessed. I love him so much. And then the very end of the chapter when he's basically, if you die, save us a seat. We'll be there with you in a minute. Oh, why am I crying? Oh, I love it so much. When they saw Everlane, standing there in a red dress with all of the vampires with her, I wonder if you thought this too. I thought she was a bad guy.
Are we gonna get a classic, nobody chooses for me, you can't take my choice away, I'm gonna sacrifice myself because it's for the greater good, and is she gonna die?
Okay, we didn't talk about how she basically stopped time to kill people and how she can use Solus. Oh, so cool. She's so badass. And also, we need to honor Saris. Now she's a blooded warrior. Lorith going first. Oh, I'm obsessed with him. Well, I'm so obsessed with Lorith. What a good friend.
I am crying. I can't even talk. They were all just honoring her and putting their bloody palms on her chest. Okay, he had called her a witch at some point. She absolutely is going to have that in her and be able to heal him because of it. Definitely.
I'm so giddy. First of all, fuck Dana. She literally is awful. She's that's reserved for Fisher's wife. And I'm like, and let me just say, I love Ren. He's winks at her, you're sitting in the right spot. I love that Carrion's just the full comedic relief. He walked in, he slept through the whole battle, and then he was like, ooh, Dana called me pretty, she's hot, she's toxic. Oh my god. Taylena walks in and she basically tells us that yes, Saris and Fisher are absolutely mated, is what the tattoos mean.
Frickin' Fisher. I definitely thought it was going to be our FMC who is going to be self-sacrificial. Why didn't I see it coming? Of course it's him. He's been doing this whole book. Frickin' Fisher. He's talking to Madra. So what did I do to you? And he said, you spayed my mate when she was a fucking child. For the very first time, he says out loud, my mate. Seems like everyone's just going to continue on with conversation. And nobody's going to say anything? Hello? I don't remember. Do we know who Fisher's dad is? Is his dad Malcolm? Carrion Swift. I did not expect him to be Fae. What? She's queen of the vampires? Wait. So Fisher has his own kingdom. And she has her own kingdom? What?
Okay.
Wait, I cannot let that part brush over. I don't remember hearing the voice note where you asked if Malcolm was his dad. That is literally the craziest thing you've ever said. I can't believe that even came out of your mouth. I don't remember. I have not made fun of you enough for that because I literally don't remember you saying that. You idiot.
No. Okay, internet, whoever's watching, this is proof that if Jillian does not have an ounce of faith in my theory, she doesn't respond.
Wait.
You didn't respond to that voice note.
Don't remember. I must not have listened to it. I don't remember you saying that. I don't remember you saying that. I think I just missed that one.
Oh, when I found it and I listened to it, I was like, first of all, ashamed that was ever passing through my brain. And then second, I was like, correct. Jillian never commented on this voice note.
I genuinely think, okay, because you finished the book before me.
So funny.
And sometimes when we finish
you're probably
the book,
avoiding.
I was avoiding your voice notes because I think because I had finished it, we were talking about other things about the ending that I didn't go back and listen to the voice note like I normally would. And I literally don't remember you saying that. So I know I didn't listen to it. And I am dying. I cannot believe you asked that question. That is so insane.
Jillian, when I sent it to you as well, it wasn't like I wonder if this is it. I was kind of convinced. I was like, oh, this is about to happen. I should probably just send her a voice note so it's recorded that I'm right.
Can't believe you said that.
Who is his dad?
He is the warrior. He is a warrior that they trapped back in Zelvarin. Don't you remember?
Good guy?
He died in Zelvarin. Where Saris is from is where his dad died.
Yeah.
Remember
that sounds familiar.
He's a good guy, but they tried to blame the whole sword thing on him. They tried to be like they tried to say he was the bad guy who locked the realms, but it wasn't. Everyone knew it was Madra the whole time, but they tried to blame it on Fisher's dad, and they killed him in Zelvarin. I literally can't believe you asked that question after all of that. They talk about him during the book.
You know,
it's
what
not
was
like
happening?
It's unknown.
I don't. It was once they arrived and like Fisher was in shackles and they're like, we're here to save him. I just felt like there was going to be a moment of like, and I'm your father. Oh God. Where do we begin? So that was one of my terrible theories. You're welcome. I had another in there that was like, okay. I had said in there, during sex, he had said to her, like, you're a witch.
Yeah, I do think there's merit to that. Like, maybe not like, I don't think that's wild because I agree that was like stood out like neon signs on the page to me when I read it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But now she's half fae, half vampire,
right?
Half human, whatever she is. It's like she's God's blessed and she's also going to be a witch. I don't know. That feels a bit much at this point.
I agree.
Because if she just became a fae that saved her, then I would be like, oh, maybe she's a witch too. But now I'm a little like, that would be odd. But I'm not taking it off the table because he did say that like very pointedly.
There's so many other things you could have said in that moment, you know?
He's like, you do have magic. You're a witch.
You witch. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So radar's open there.
I agree.
What else? You had predicted correctly. What was it? That the tattoos were significant of the mating bond.
But it's hard for me because I think at some point during most of these books, especially about fae, I blame everything on the mating bond.
Well,
but it kind of ended up being a little true in this world or whatever. But I knew the tattoos were weird. The thing I was questioning about the tattoos was if it was mating bond or if it was the god situation, because she had stuff about her being an alchemist as well on there. And so I was like, well, maybe they aren't mating bond something. So it was making me feel confused, but they were mating bond things. I think it might be more to them though, because to me it is also part of that as well. So, but for the most part,
more too.
The mating, because Fisher has all the tattoos on himself and he had those before they were mates as well. He didn't get his mating one until after he accepted it or whatever kind of situation.
Well, did he get new tattoos when they were having sex?
He got the neck tattoo.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
With wings.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Something that we forgot to say at the beginning of this episode is that we're going to be talking about the point of view chapters from Kingfisher that are on Callie Hart. I was going to say a different author's name. Callie Hart's website. If you didn't know, it's like 3 or 4 extra chapters that are all from his point of view, which I can testify are excellent.
Can you link those in the description?
Oh, great. Yes, I will do that. Great. Absolutely. So I'm going to say something now. If you haven't read the point of view chapters, I guess get out of here, go read those, come back. Here forward, we will be talking about them. Okay, there's something that happens in it. Also, context, Jillian has not read them, so I'm informing her. I
have read
as well.
half of the first chapter. So I read through when they're at the Ajin Gate and it's open and the dragon's like fighting them or whatever kind of situation. So
that was the first crazy thing to me, is that in this world, the dragon is basically evil. It's not good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, and they talk out loud so everyone can hear them, which is really insane.
Really insane. But that was really shocking to me, where I'm like, oh, we're not praising this thing. It's actually like somebody that the more that you read, the more it's like, oh, no, definitely evil. Not good.
Yeah, well, and that's what's interesting too, because it seems like something like dragons don't seem like a thing people just come by. Like, you know what I mean? Like, most people, like Lorith was like, that it talks. Like, I didn't know. Like, they don't know. They don't seem to know a lot about dragons, even though they know what it is. So to me, I'm like, is there like a couple, or have they not discovered them yet? Do we think dragons are going to be bad long term?
It explains the context is that at that point in time, that is the last dragon alive. So I think maybe like their parents' generation would have had a life where more dragons were around, but their generation is like, this is the only dragon they've known. It's the oldest and it's grouchy, never comes around. And actually, it was in charge of keeping that city safe, Ajun Gate. But it turns against it. Anyways, just sticking to the hot topics here. Okay, there's a moment, and I've been dying to talk to you about this, that essentially, Kingfisher is about to die because he self-sacrifices himself again to save all his people. Obviously, we know he doesn't because he's in Quicksilver. But the twins, the god twins, the sisters, they pull him to that space and time where we get to see Saris, where she goes to the grassy field. Okay, so during this point of view chapter, they pull Kingfisher and he's on the grass. He's like, no, send me back. I can't be here. Like, my friends are dying, please. He sees Saris very far away on a hilltop talking to the god of chaos, and he doesn't know who she is. And the twin sisters essentially tell us, because he's like, what is that? Who is that? He doesn't know he has a mate at this point. Or maybe he does know he has a mate because of his mom's journal. I don't know. He doesn't know who she is.
Although he's seen pictures.
When they'll come in contact, I guess.
Yes.
But it says that there's a smell that all the mating words, like something in my heart and my soul and tugged and reality shifted. But the twins they look at her and they say, this is the future, this is the past. You'll understand one day, blah, 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 blah. So he's essentially watching her at the end of the book of Quicksilver. She's almost dead. He can smell her blood, talking to the god of chaos with him, giving her the option. When also the twins are intervening in his life at that moment. He could have died. They came. And this is how he gets his sword. He's gonna die. He's gonna be defeated.
Nimrod?
And yes, they heal him and they give him a god sword, the only one with magic. So he shows back up to his friends, and his sword is what kills the last dragon. It's the only thing that's able to kill. Also, really heartbreaking thing is we get the story of how Renfis' twin sister dies. So it's all kind of her story. The dragon kills her, which is why they all get pumped with hatred and grief to go and kill the dragon. There's a kind of a teaser that maybe his twin sister had a thing for Kingfisher, but nobody ever acted on it. And she's like, don't worry about it. You're my brother. I'll be your brother in the afterlife. Oh, but this is the reason that his sword has magic, still has magic. When she died, she chose to tie her soul, I guess what's left and what would go to the afterworld, her soul to the sword.
That's interesting.
She sacrificed her afterlife for it. Those are two big things. Something I wanted to say, because you mentioned this in the voice memos, was like, oh, the Quicksilver in his eye is moving. And I wonder, like, is it activated? What's happening? In the point of view chapters, you figure out that when somebody recognizes that the Quicksilver is moving or it's changed shape, it means that it is currently talking to Kingfisher.
Yeah.
So it's like currently terrorizing him, essentially. Those are
It's always
those are
like
big main points.
because it's a Quicksilver seems to be tied to the gods, and it seems to be like pulling him to or away from fate, whatever it might be. You know, go do this, go do that. No, you all must move now, whatever it is, kind of situation where it's kind of like maybe not fate because it's pushing him one way or another, but it's kind of like this is what must happen. Do this, you know what I mean, kind of a thing. Which is, and he doesn't listen to it every time.
No.
It's
and there's
really
a couple
interesting.
moments in those chapters that he like deliberately is like, I know what it's wanting me to do and I'm not going to do that. There's a couple moments with the Quicksilver where like the Quicksilver is definitely on the side of like protect Kingfisher at all costs.
Yes.
Because that's their investment. And he, anytime he can recognize that, he does the opposite because he's self-sacrificing for his people. It's interesting though, because there is that moment again with the gods where he's like, they're playing with the fates. Like what would have happened if they didn't pull me here, if they didn't intervene? And then the twin sister dies and he's like, he's thinking, well, this is a moment they knew was going to happen and they didn't intervene. I don't know how I feel about that. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed the point of view chapters because it gave us so much. Like, I truly don't think that anybody should go into the next book without reading these.
which I think is
There's
kind of
so much
crazy
depth.
when there is that much almost like plot. Like I guess it's backstory, but it's kind of like I'm shocked it's not something that's almost like required reading, like in a novella or whatever.
Totally.
Or it should be kind of somewhere that like everybody reads it because I don't know how many books I've read and like I don't know if what I missed or didn't miss, and maybe you wouldn't miss anything besides some backstory, but it does bring color to the story.
Oh, absolutely. Another thing I had texted you was in those deleted extra chapters, whatever, the word brimstone is probably used more than 15 times. And that's what the next book is called. So, and every time brimstone is used, it's in relation to like the gore, the people dying, the dragon, and like what's dripping from its mouth. So I'm just curious why our next book is called that if the dragons are now extinct. Is it more of a general definition of like there's going to be hell and chaos in the next book, like world-ending stuff?
Fire and brimstone. Yeah, that's really interesting. I agree. I've been thinking about why the next book is called Brimstone as well. And the first thing I read in the POV chapters was about the dragon and the brimstone kind of situation. And I think the same thing. That's why I was wondering, like, where are the other dragons? And now you're telling me that was the last one. And I'm like, was it? Sure. That's kind of how I feel right now because it has been such a big plot point of him like defeating this dragon. That I wonder if they'll find other dragons that will not be evil. I don't know. Something like that.
That lines up with the romantasy world.
And they'll like tame the dragons that'll become their best friends that talk to them and whatever, all the things. That's kind of in my future radar. I will say a lot of different species, creatures, whatever. Many. It feels very like Throne of Glass in that way, where it's like
I was going to say Crescent City. There's like every species
Crescent
possible.
City too. But it feels very like, yeah, you're right. Like I'm just waiting for angels to come into this.
Yeah, mermaids.
But, yeah, right. Mermaids, werewolves. But I do feel like right now they've introduced witches and vampires. Obviously there's fae, dragons. So it feels like we're getting a lot of different vibes, like fire sprites. There's like lots of different creatures here that are main character kind of situations. So I'm wondering how that's going to like play into all of this. Obviously, I feel like the witches will become more of a thing. I'm also trying to be realistic and remembering this is only a trilogy. So
Yes. We're not going to get huge world building.
We're not going to get too much more, I think, from a world building perspective as like we might go to new places, but I don't think we're going to get like 7 different more creatures. Like I think we're going to be capping out because otherwise we won't have learned everything. And there'll be a lot left on the table. So
I think that now that we can talk about our predictions for the next book, I think that we will spend a lot of time in the new land of this kingdom that she has just inherited, essentially, which I don't know the name of. The
Sansaroth?
Vampire Land. Okay. Oh, this is a hilarious thing. I have been re-listening. So the first time I read this, like you, on Kindle, didn't want to leave the world, like we said in the beginning of this episode. So I started listening to the audiobook because actually a lot of people online kept recommending to us, gotta listen. The audio is so good. So I did. And I'm on chapter like 11 or 12. All the things that we've pronounced wrong. Sorry, world. It's so, what's the queen's name?
You said, we were saying Madra, and I said that again already, but you said it's
Madra.
Madra?
I don't know.
It must be Madra.
Renfis has a really thick accent. It's pretty funny.
I love that.
Okay, predictions for the next book. I was going to say that I think we're going to spend time in the world that she now discovered, but you and I were saying like the people that should be ruling over, we think, are like all the dead, half-dead feeders. So you had said in the last episode, like, you think she's going to free everybody. But then what does that, there's got to be some people that like need saving in that world or that aren't actually dead. I don't know. I guess rightly so, but I'm very unclear of what that world is.
I genuinely think there's going to be a large part of her that is really struggling with her transition into this new body of hers. Fae, vampire, all the things.
Definitely. That'll be next book.
I think morally she's going to have a problem with drinking blood. I think all of those things.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a big portion of the story that go along with her insecurity around her new life kind of situation and a little bit of resentment that comes with Kingfisher. Like you were talking about at the end of the book, because he asked her at the end of the last book, did I do the right thing? And I think there is going to be some maybe resentment coming along with his decision, even though that was really the only decision, but because she morally doesn't feel like it was, I think that's going to be part of like her morally not wanting to be a vampire, but having to kind of reconcile with like, that was the only way to save me. And we had to do what we had to do. But now she's the queen, so she's taking on a new role. So I think there's going to be maybe some identity problems with her as she's stepping into this new life. We still don't know what's going on with her brother and all of those things. This reminds me when we were listening to the voice notes, when I would say sorry to Hayden or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Keke Palmer's Sorry to This Man. Do you remember?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? She like doesn't know that politician and she's like, I don't know who this man is. Sorry to this man or whatever she says. That's kind of how I felt. It was like, I don't know where Hayden is. Sorry, I hope you're great, but I don't care. But we still have to figure out what's going on with him. I think they're going to go back to Zilvarin.
I think
at some point
they'll be in the beginning of next book.
You do.
Back to Zilvarin. Well, Madra, I don't remember how to say her name. She's probably back there, right?
Yes.
And I believe that we're killing another one of them in the next book. Trilogy, 3 bad guys. That's my theory.
Did you say trilogy? Do you say that?
Trilogy. Is that how you say it?
That's how I say it.
You know, I said the word and I moved on. And as I was moving on, I was like, something sounded weird. But I was just going to plow ahead.
I can't let things slide.
And then what would have happened is I would have been editing this and been like, shit, seriously.
Your pronunciations are not even just these books. These books are particularly hard for you because you can't handle normal words, Sarah.
This is my life, Jillian.
Oh
this is my life.
I do feel like you say stuff like that all the time. Oh my gosh.
All the time.
That's so
Stick
funny.
around long enough, there'll be more. In an episode I'm recording right now for us, I said a sentence instead of needing to say the word give would have been the right word. I said the word gave and I just like made a sentence of it. You didn't say anything. And I just like moved on.
I was like,
and I'm editing it right now and I'm like, there's nothing I can do to change that. It's just a terrible.
A bad sentence.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
It makes life fun, whatever.
No, you can't edit this out because we talked about it too much.
Carry on.
Yeah, with Carrion, because he obviously was going to be a big character in this book. We saw some hilarious comedic relief from him, which I really hope we continue to see in the rest of the series. Like, I hope he continues to be that. But he gives very much like, I'm not going to say king energy, because like it's obviously not like Kingfisher or something like that, but he gives like, oh, nonchalant, I've actually been in charge this whole time, you fools, kind of thing. So
Definitely.
I'm very interested to see what role he ends up playing in this series, because he has this like deep, like he has the blood to kill vampires, whatever kind of situation. His family, his familial blood. And so I'm really interested to see kind of how he plays into this whole saga and things like that, and what ends up being of him. But
okay, I did see one fan theory online about that and didn't read too much into it, but it essentially was like, wait, are Kingfisher and Carrion brothers? Maybe it's more like a foster brother, a half brother. I'm not sure. Or maybe this whole thing is just bullshit. But
yeah,
I think it was around the idea of like, it was Kingfisher's dad who like brought him to Sylvarin to be safe and dropped him off.
Like his is the bloodline.
Why was he the one to?
Yeah.
Wait, but his parents were killed, right?
Yes.
By Malcolm.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whose parents?
Carrion.
Oh, yeah, I
he
think
definitely tells us his parents' story.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it. So I don't know. But maybe Fisher knows more about Carrion's story, and maybe we'll get that, like his perspective of it, because Kingfisher should have been around while Carrion was young in the Fae world, you know? Which also, like, Fisher, he just didn't recognize him the whole time, or he always knew that
I
he
don't
was
think
Fae?
they were brothers, because he's from a very specific bloodline. And to me, I don't think Kingfisher has that, right? We would know, especially like, well, I don't know. We would know that.
What I'm asking is, do you think Kingfisher and Carrion met in their childhood before Carrion got sent to
Sylvarin?
Sylvarin. Do you think that happened? Do you think they had met each other before leaving?
No.
Okay. Because that just opened up questions for me where I'm like, if they had met, why didn't he say anything? But that just could be an easy
I think because they both seem to like really not know each other, that it would be odd to me if that's what happened.
Second, don't you think that Fae have the ability to sense other Fae? Like, no? They shouldn't have known that he was Fae all along.
Well, here's the deal. That's what I thought too, but maybe the glamour was also a scent glamour. You know what I'm saying? Like, could have been the full glamour, like turned him into a human, even scent-wise, because everybody thought he was a human. Nobody thought he was a Fae. So it didn't come up at all.
Wait, the end of the book, when Fisher finally comes to the room and wants to talk to Saris, and that's like the last page, he says to Carrion, yes, I do know more about your story, and I would love to tell you everything, but first I need to talk to her. I just remembered that. So he does know more.
He must know more about his family and their, like, the bloodline and everything else too. That's kind of how I feel, because he obviously knows, like, that is a very prolific bloodline that killed vampires and whatever it might be that they tried to get rid of. And so I think they thought they got rid of that whole bloodline. And then here comes Carrion being like, haha, I still exist.
Okay. Makes more sense.
That's my 2 cents about that. But I do think that we will see, I hope Carrion finds somebody. Like, I think it would be fun to actually see him have a little bit of a love redemption. I don't know who that would be at this point. I don't think it's going to be Danya. I actually don't hope she doesn't get.
I hope she becomes a background character.
I hope she doesn't get a redemption arc. I don't really want one, but maybe she will. But I do think Renfis and Everlyn are going to be together.
Yes. definitely. Oh, here's something I wanted to say to you this last week, and I waited till now. So I am listening to the book, and I got to the point where I essentially think that it wasn't just our brains that were like, did you also think that Lane was gonna betray her when she shows up across the river, whatever it's called? And we both were like, oh my God, she betrayed them. I think the author definitely set us up for that.
No, 100%.
That the line, I had been questioning myself, and then re-listening to it, I'm like, oh, she wanted us to think this. It's essentially like, I'm not even going to try to remember it, but that's my theory. The author wanted us to feel this way.
I agree, because even I remember reading the end of that chapter, and it very much, she paints the picture like Everlane's at the helm. But then the next chapter, everyone else automatically understands that she is a victim because they all have context for it. And I'm like catching up with everybody else.
I think there's takes a second.
There's some of that in this book where I mean, it kind of makes it more interesting reading. You know what I mean? That she like does that, and then it's like, there's a few times in this book where everybody else knows the answer and we're trying to figure it out, kind of a thing. But I still think it wasn't confusing at all. I think she paints it out well. But yeah, I don't know about what's going to happen in the next 2 books.
I don't even know how it's going to end.
Besides the obvious 2 big bads being Belicon and Madra, I also think the gods play into good, bad, morally gray kind of situation. And whether or not that'll come back up again, or how they will play into the story as a bigger entity, I'm not sure.
I said to you that I do believe that the author is going to write like a Ceres and Kingfisher have a baby.
Oh, yes.
I think there's going to be a Fae baby. Just there's so much talk about pregnancy and babies and lineage and da-da-da-da-da. Now, I don't know if I'll be happy for this or like anticipating it and can't wait for it, but I do think it's going to happen.
It is interesting to me that you rereading it, re-listening to it is bringing that up even more, because you're kind of paying attention to it more than maybe we did the first time around. But immediately I could also see that, just because solely based on Kingfisher's reaction to him not getting to continue his line kind of situation, and what Madra did. And he's like, I'll kill you just for that alone, where it's like, I'm kind of hoping, here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for it to be in the wrap up at the end of book 3.
That's when I'll be happy for it.
Me too. I'll be like, everything was fine. She got healed. Guess what? She wasn't infertile or whatever. And get to be like, oh my God, she's pregnant at the end of the book, or in the recap of everything, be like, and they went on to have kids. Ugh, like, that's what I want. Because to me, and I think we've talked about this with other books, they're mid-war right now. And I don't want to see her going through this traumatic, awful thing in her big life and all these changes in her body with now becoming a vampire and a fae, and also throw in a pregnancy with it. I don't want that. I hope she doesn't do that. To me, it doesn't feel like the right time for it. So
I don't think she will in that way.
I'm hoping for end of series, like that problem of her not being able to have children gets solved in book 3, and then by the end of book 3 we like find out like, oh, it got solved and now they can have kids, or maybe she's pregnant, like, kind of situation.
Yeah, I agree.
It's also such a short series that do you think this is going to be dragged out more than a year? I don't, because the way that Renfis was saying, like, we have maybe 6 months kind of situation. And now we brought back in these 2 other big bads. Now Malcolm's gone, so maybe this will stretch out longer than we thought it would. But from a timeline perspective, I think it's going to all go pretty fast.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't have many theories for that. I do feel that Madra and Belicon, Yeah. That they are going to betray each other. And it's going to be like which is the bigger of the evils.
They're like brother, sister. It's like
immediately I was like, no.
Sus.
Yeah, I'm interested about that. See, that's the part that I really need to reread because I didn't really digest it the first time, but
yeah.
Meh. We'll figure it out when we figure it out.
Okay, let's talk about ratings. Your official rating
Okay.
on Quicksilver, book 1.
Before I say it out loud, the main thing I've been seeing on social media platforms about this book is people saying that as soon as they finished it, their rating was higher than the longer they got away from it and had more time to think about it. Their rating has gone down. It's not just one person I've seen that from. I've seen it from multiple outlets. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that has happened to you?
No, I will say, like, looking back, you know, it's a lot of like typical, like a little bit predictable from, you know, but I'm a romantasy reader at heart. So like to me, the romance captured this book so well. And I really, really loved and enjoyed it. So while some of the fantasy aspects were a little predictable with the mates thing and blah, 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 like to me, I still like thoroughly enjoyed it and thoroughly enjoyed the writing and thoroughly enjoyed the character development. So for me, I can't say like, I know my feeling when I ended the book. Like I texted you 10 stars. Like I was so obsessed right when I finished the book, like obsessed. And I was obsessed like reading at stoplights. And for me, that's a 5-star read. Like if I can't do anything else but try to like sneak off for 10 minutes to read in the bathroom while my kids are playing in the next room, I'm like, that is a 5-star read. So I can't say like my rating has gone down. It captivated me so well that I'm not going to say for me it's still a complete 5-star read because my experience when I was reading it was so high that like no comparing it to other, like I don't know. I have to think about it in my experience reading it. You know what I mean? Rather than like
the only way
how I feel about the plot later, because maybe there's plot holes later that I can knock points down from, but my experience during it was so high. So
you and I, though, are highly romantic and emotional readers. So I'm not reading for the plot holes, you know, or for the plot. However, okay, so you give it 5 stars. I think I give it 4. I also had a very positive reading experience with this book. I will recommend it. I will love to read it again. I was thinking about like what captivated me with it, and obviously it was the romance and their relationship. If you took it away, I don't think I was interested at all in the world that we were in.
At all?
Like, I don't have an interest in the Quicksilver. I don't really care or like that magic. The things that are coming to mind right now is the Ballard scene. Like, I have more questions about that village. I have more questions about that old lady and Lorith and Renfus. Those are the only other things that I emotionally connected with. Now, I will say, I feel like my rating could go up for the next book because something that's huge for me and many other readers is that found family aspect. And I feel like we just barely tipped the iceberg with finding our found family. So I'm hopeful for that.
I agree. The romance carried this book, which makes me a little concerned for the rest of the series because like we've kind of...
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Already finished we didn't finish their love story, but fully mates, like, you know what I mean? So we've accepted a mating bond. They're not waiting to do that. So it's kind of like, where do we go from here? And is it just going to be focusing on other people's love stories as well? Or are we going to go plot heavy from here on out? And if so, will it be enough to carry us through? That's a good question.
I agree with you as well that like the romantasy aspects were heavily predictable, but for me, it did not dilute my reading experience. Even though very early on I was like, there's a mating bond. Very early on, I'm like, he's your mate. Very early on, like, that's the enemy. Or the thing with the vampires or all of that. I don't really care that I figured it out.
I feel like I could give this book 2 ratings, like you're saying. Based on vibes and romance, 5 stars, 6 stars, like 100%.
Same.
Based on plot only, if I'm separating the two, I think you're right. Like, I think I would give plot like a 3.5.
For plot, I could do 3.
So I'm with you.
But my overall is 4 because what excellent romance.
But I don't want to like bring it down. Like, to me, the reading experience was still so high. Like, can't not give it 5 stars. Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, where if I'm ripping through it to see what happens next, mostly with the romance story.
Yeah.
But
loved it.
I still was curious, like, what was going to happen. We were kind of like 70% of the way through, and the romance was like wrapping up, where I was like, here we go with the plot. Now we're going to get plot heavy.
Yeah. Here's the 2 things that I was surprised by that I did not predict was her becoming a vampire and Carrie Swift being a fae.
Yeah.
Those 2 things, we both predicted that she is going to be queen, but I didn't see this kind of queen being the option. And I really didn't see Carrie getting more backstory that made him that much more important.
Yeah.
Love that.
He became one of the most interesting characters, where I feel like on a reread, you'd notice all the little things he said or did or didn't care about or whatever.
Already, Jillian, because, you know, the literal like first 5 chapters are Carrie in, what's her city called?
Zilvarin.
Again, the sand dunes. Every moment with him, I was thinking this is a fae male. And like you have fae strength and fae scent and this and this and that. She specifically talks about how like just him beating up people or how he never gets hurt somehow. Or there's multiple things she says in the first 2 chapters and I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Or like how he knows how to take care of Hayden without making it look like he's taking care of Hayden. So many things. It definitely is a very interesting reread.
Yeah, I agree. I think there'd be a lot of stuff on a reread that's really interesting, especially with Carrion. So, yeah.
That's what I got.
Those are my thoughts.
Those are my thoughts on Quicksilver. Highly enjoyed it.
Can't wait for book 2.
Book 2, exactly.
Yeah, can't wait for book 2.
Okay.
All right, signing off.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. We also want to be your long distance book bestie. You can find this podcast on all your favorite listening platforms. You can watch us on YouTube at Those Are My Thoughts Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, My Thoughts Pod, on TikTok, mythoughts.pod.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and book recommendations. Email us at thosearemythoughtspod@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. We love you. See you next time. Bye.